What's up? Welcome to the Gamers Talk podcast, and let's start off with my guest. What's your name?
What's up? I'm Daniel Martin. I'm also Daniel Martin's dad.
How's it been? How have you been feeling, Dad?
Not bad.
Alright, today we'll be talking about microtransactions. You know what that is, right?
Microtransactions. In the sense of video games, obviously?
Yeah.
Yes, I sure do.
That's good. Would you like explaining what it is to the people watching?
Okay, so basically a microtransaction is a transaction that takes place in the sense that we're talking about within video games is like you play a video game, and then within the universe of the video game, they sell you items for real money, but the items aren't actually worth anything other than within the game itself, and that's a microtransaction.
Yeah, basically at the point. And what's your opinion on microtransactions? Should I start off?
Yeah, how do you feel about them?
I think microtransactions is a 50-50. It's either good or bad, and it depends on the game. Because if you think about it, some microtransactions kind of bring joy in people, which hits like a hormone in their head. Like, oh, this is fun. Cool. But then there's some times where it's like it gets over repetitive. Oh, you want to go through here. You need to pay money, which affects the game. But it's always 50-50 in my opinion. What do you think about it?
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, what you mean is the pay-to-play model, which is like highly frowned upon in the gaming community, which means like basically if you pay money, you can get upgrades to make your player better than somebody who, if they don't pay any money, they're at a disadvantage, which basically tilts the balance towards somebody who's going to pay more money, which is a pay-to-play model, which is very frowned upon.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And sadly, a lot of games do that, though. That's the problem.
Well, not so much anymore, but more so what it is now is that they play on people's, like, you want the newest, greatest, coolest thing, or whatever, the hype train, you know? They're playing on the hype train. So, like, everybody's got to have the skeleton skin. Everybody's got to have the skeleton skin. Well, that's $15, okay? So it's like if you want to be cool and have the skeleton skin while you're playing, Fortnite, you got to pay $15. So it's almost like a keep up with the Joneses type of thing. I know you probably don't get that reference, but what it is like you're always trying to get on board with the next best thing, and you're always trying to keep up with whatever the best thing is, and it's just it's a never-ending battle, because the next best thing is going to come out the second you get that. There's going to be something else, and there's always going to be something else, and they keep just playing on that.
I agree with that, but at the same time, there's I've also realized, off topic a little bit, that a lot of sports game goes near the pay to win.
Yeah.
Like if you buy this card, he's better than all these other cards, and other games is like anything in the like Call of Duty range, or like the like war range. It's not as much as that, but like say there's like a map or a gun or anything, that would also affect it. And I've also started to realize that a lot, like almost all games now have microtransactions. Like I can't think of a game without them.
Yeah, like in one way or another, there's some form of microtransactions. Yeah, and that's kind of like, it's a little frustrating from being an old school gamer, because when I grew up, you would buy a game, and once you bought that game, not only did you own the game forever because you own that game, but there wasn't like a constant barrage of you gotta have this, you gotta have that, the newest thing. You just got to enjoy that game for what it was, and then you would get the next game or the next game. It wasn't like, I'm gonna spend $60 on a game, and then all of a sudden I gotta spend $10 more to get this thing to make my guy look cooler, or I gotta spend another $10 to make my player get a little boost or something. Like that stuff is it's pretty sad to see, and you're right, it is in almost every single video game now.
And sadly, where it all started was off free-based games. Like, games that were free, that you didn't have to pay money, they always made money off microtransactions. And a great example of this is Fortnite.
Yeah.
They kind of, like, set the trend. Even though that's not where microtransactions started, because Call of Duty in that industry has always done that, like, back then a little bit, with, like, boxes. But, like, Fortnite kind of, like, boosted it.
Well, the microtransaction game really got kickstarted with mobile gaming. Because people would download these mobile games, and then they would get addicted to these mobile games, and then they would pay to, like, you know, the ones where you have to, like, you can build, like, a city or something? Well, you know how, like, if you start to build a building, it'll be, like, in 4 hours that building will be done getting built. Or you could pay to, like, speed up that process, and that's where they get people, is they're, like, they get them addicted to the game, and then they want more, faster, better. And then, but the microtransactions really started to, like, take hold and really catch steam in the mobile gaming atmosphere, and then it flooded over into the regular game.
Now, we've been kind of trashing microtransactions, but do you think there's any benefits with transactions?
Microtransactions?
But let me say it, not for the industry, for the people playing the game.
Well, I think that there is some benefits in the fact of, like keeping you entertained, yeah, like keeping you sucked in, but then again, is that, I don't know. I feel like the heart and soul of what gaming is kind of getting lost in the sauce. Like, when you care more about what, like, skin your character has, rather than caring about, you know, your actual skill in a game, or, like, the actual game itself. Like, how many people do you know have even beat the Call of Duty campaign?
I don't even know people that actually did it.
Exactly. That's a major problem, because that's, for one, if you actually played the campaign, you would get completely immersed in it, because that's where this whole franchise got its start. But also, like, nobody, the heart and soul, everybody just wants to hop on and get 20 kills like Nick Mertz and wear whatever the coolest skin is. Nobody has, like, the passion. Like, if you're not playing online with your friends, oh, I don't want to play that game. Nobody's playing that game. You know? It's like, what do you mean nobody's playing that game? Do you like to play that game? And the whole point of the game was to challenge yourself. And, like, you play it, maybe you hit a difficult point. There's puzzles in games. That's what makes them fun. You got to figure these situations out and these things out. And then it just turned into, no, I just want to look the coolest. I just want my guy to have this and that, and then I just got to pay for that. But you can't pay to be good at something, though. You have to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the heart and soul of gaming, is competing. So
one thing with microtransactions that I think they've done right is it always gives people enjoyment. Like, when you get something and you feel happy and you feel enjoyment, like, oh, I can't wait to use this, and blah, blah, blah. But the problem, and one main problem I think, is even though they're using microtransaction, is the amount of money they're doing. Like, oh, this skin, virtual skin, $25.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
That's crazy. It's a lot of money.
25, and then, like, the thing is that they'll come out with more and more, and that's like $500 for one person.
Like, what season of Fortnite are we on?
Who knows?
And remember how important, like, a specific skin was at a specific time, where you just felt like, I have to have this thing. And then here we are now. You could care less.
Yeah.
If I tried to tell you to put it on your character, for one, you don't even play Fortnite, so all that money you ever spent on that game,
gone.
Wasted.
Out the trash.
Right.
Well,
and
actually,
also,
not in the trash, in their bank accounts.
Yeah, it's getting used by the corporate America. It's all good. That's part of the game. But the also part of that game is understanding that. Oh, you know, if you play the game right, you pay $10, you get the season's pass. As you play, the season's pass unlocks enough points where you can keep buying your season's pass every season. And then, so you can spend the $10 one time and get into the game, and if you play the game right, you know what I mean? You don't have to keep dumping money in. Or you get caught up in the hype train, you get caught up in all the stuff. And that's why their job is to take your money. You know what I mean? It's designed to do that. Like, they make money when you pay them. So they're not gonna not try to make it enticing. They're not gonna. Everything that they do is designed to try to get you to want to buy that stuff.
I 100% agree with that. And another, like, main problem that certain games do is that even though you don't have to use the microtransaction, it doesn't feel like you're getting rewarded if you don't buy something. Because if you don't get anything, then, like, some, like, outfit that's like over, like a lot of people that will beat anything, and you can't do it because it costs money. It's just unfair, and it makes a lot of people not want to play the game.
Yeah, like when the rose skin was dominant, like if you were somebody who came in late and you never got a chance to get the rose skin or something, then you're just like, you're kind of shit out of luck.
Or like a gun that was only in the battle pass, and it was like, oh, really good.
And it just kind of depletes the, you know, the competitive, the balanced fairness of the competitive gaming. Yeah, because it's like if we're gonna compete, I would hope that we're on a level playing field to start from, right? If I'm more skilled, you're more skilled, whatever that is, that's fine. But you shouldn't be able to start at this point, and I have to start here and try to catch up to you. Because you have a couple more dollars, or you were willing to spend a couple dollars in this game. Yeah, so I don't know. There's goods and bads to microtransactions, but I think overall the bads far outweigh the good.
Yeah.
Except for one thing. The amount of money that microtransactions has poured into the gaming industry is helping push gaming forward, and that's why we're seeing so many awesome games and so much awesome stuff.
That's also a really good thing. Like because of microtransaction, it helps build better like graphical games, more entertainment, more content.
So they're making a boatload of money. You would hope that they're taking like a good chunk of that money.
But there's also some companies that don't do that. They keep it for themselves.
So they put out a shit product, a crappy product, and
don't worry, only my teachers. Don't worry, only my teachers seen that. Yeah, sorry, Miss Patton. All right, let's just continue. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And yeah, microtransactions, even though there are good sides that help, there's just for some reason a lot more bad sides. It's just if what was one thing you'll give a gaming company that's trying to grow? Like, what in your head would you give them with microtransactions? Say they're going to put a microtransaction. What advice would you give them? If you were to, like...
Charge less.
Charge less?
Like imagine, like, if when skins came out, it was $2 instead of $12 or $15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would be like, yeah, I can go get a $10 card, and now I don't have to spend that whole entire $10 card on one thing. I can actually buy a couple things, yeah. So if they just went down and charged a little bit less for the transactions, I think it wouldn't be as big of a thing, but that's never going to happen. They never start out making this much money, and then they're going to be like, oh, we're going to just make less money, you know? It's going to get more expensive, not less expensive,
yeah,
unfortunately.
And one last question before I give you, what game, like, industry do you think is doing well? Like, what do you think they're doing a good job with microtransactions? Because even though we've talked down with a lot of microtransactions, there's obviously some companies that have done better and, like, actually done things that are good for microtransactions. Like, what are your opinion things? Like, oh, this industry's doing the smart thing and it's helping. Or there's just none.
I
can't really think of any.
I don't think any of them. I think it's all a scam.
Yeah. One final message: don't get scammed. That's the only thing.
Yeah, don't get scammed. Don't spend all your money on microtransactions. You know, if you're really into a game and you really, really want a specific thing or whatever,
you do you.
It's understandable, yeah, of course, but don't get caught up in that cycle. Don't get caught up in the hype, because they're very smart people. The whole entire thing is designed to get you to keep falling into that loop.
The guys that do this, their only job is to make you think, oh, buy this, so they gain more money. Because their whole point is to make sure they gain money. But at the same time, if you don't have to. If you want to buy something really bad, you obviously can. But yeah, you think we're done here? I think we did.
Not too shabby, kid.
Well, this is Gamer Talk Podcast, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Ooh, yow!